Good evening, this is the Oscar Expert here, and it's time to review Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This is an animated reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not an IP that I am particularly attached to, and I didn't even really watch it much when I was young. But I was interested in this movie because the animation in the trailer looked really cool, and because Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg were writing. And that fact, combined with the turtles in the trailer seeming to be, you know, more like regular, clumsy, dorky teenagers, made me think that we could be getting a coming-of-age story with these turtles that is really heartfelt, and I think that is mostly what we got. Although I don't know if I would say it's really that much of a coming-of-age movie in the message or anything like that. We have seen so many origin stories in the past decade, and this one follows the origin story movie plot pretty carefully. It doesn't go anywhere that is too unexpected. The characters get redeemed in the way that it seems like they're going to. The action scenes gradually get bigger and bigger, and they lead up to like a big boss fight. I guess I had hoped that the movie would lean even further into like the banter and the character dynamics between the turtles, and maybe feels more like a hangout movie, but I guess it makes more sense that the Ninja Turtles movie is actually just, you know, an action origin story. It does have those moments with the four characters where they're going back and forth and it's funny, and I even heard that they did a little bit of improvising with their voice acting, which is cool, and it comes through. And they do have their little character arcs, but I didn't feel like the movie blew me away with how deep it got into the characters. I did really like the April O'Neil character. I know some people are upset about her online based on the trailer, based on her character design, but the way I look at it, like, this character made sense for the story that they were trying to tell, because she is a dorky high schooler who wants to be a journalist. So this character with Ayo Edebiri voice acting felt like an authentic part of this world and fit into the whole theme of these turtles being outcasts and misfits. And it was interesting that, you know, the turtles think that life in the human world is going to be so great and they want to be living that high school coming of age journey that they see in movies. And then you have this girl who's really not quite living that fantasy. So I think that the creative choices that they made with this character paid off. Her character arc was actually almost more emotionally satisfying than any one of the turtles individually. I really liked Jackie Chan as their mutant rat dad and Ice Cube as the villain, the Superfly. In general, I really liked the Superfly and all the villains. They were really funny, and even the most evil among them, you can understand their desire for acceptance. Where the movie really shines is the animation and the style. Surely there will be a lot of talk about how Spider-Verse paved the way for a movie like this, but what I like is that the style really stands on its own. It has this great messy hand-drawn feel. I like how you can see the brush strokes. It plays into like just the overall messiness of this world and of the characters. The way it stylizes New York City as this nocturnal, grimy place is really significant to building this world through the characters' eyes. And also the grotesqueness in general of the world and the character designs of everybody from the mutants to the humans. The movie gives the impression that the humans in their own way are also kind of disgusting mutants. Just in the animation, it communicates that. The style isn't the way it is just because it's trend hopping off of Spider-Verse. It seems like the filmmakers arrived at this style because they were thinking, how do we design this specific world that fits this specific story and tone that we're trying to go for? And they created the style around that. This is a perfect way for a movie to expand on new styles of animation in mainstream films. The score from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross also rules. It's interesting to see them tackling a movie that is like family oriented, but the darkness and the griminess of course is there. It's got the pounding beats and the action sequences and some interesting nice synth work throughout. Overall, you know, I think this movie's a win. It maintained the heart of the story throughout. It did follow the story beats of an origin story pretty closely. Characters like to state their motivations very explicitly, and the message and where the story ultimately goes was sort of predictable and didn't feel like anything that blew my mind. The humor was good, but I don't think it was as funny as I maybe thought it would be given the writers. And yes, I do think this could be an animated feature contender at the Oscars. The review embargo hasn't dropped yet, but I expect the reception on this is going to be very good. Maybe it depends on how successful it is and how much people are talking about it in relation to other animated movies, because this year might be pretty good for that. But I think the fact that this will exceed expectations for most people and the animation has a really cool style to it can definitely help. I would give the movie a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Do you live underground in fear of human beings?